been career changing. Yeah, it's exactly what it says. It's a career transition. I've transitioned from that corporate environment now to an F&B environment, and there's still so much more I can learn and do in this environment. But that transition has really been made seamless. I'm Paul Martin, and I was born in the year of the fire horse, so that makes me 60 this year. And at the academy, I did the mixology path. So there was 11 modules in total, covering food safety and hygiene, general service, customer service, local food, local tea, local coffee, mixology as well, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Well, I'm originally from England, from a small village, but from there I joined a few big multinational companies. So I've always had more of a corporate career really, and that's allowed me to travel around the world, live in a few different countries. So I made Singapore my home in 2007 and became a citizen in 2010. And in my corporate roles, it was very much around digital transformation, if you've heard that buzzword. But for the last few years in a consumer electronics company and a beer company, there was a lot around AI and language models. So when I hear these buzzwords today, I'm quite familiar with Gen AI and so on. But yeah, large-scale transformations was what I was doing. I wanted a break from that corporate life. I've been doing it for quite a long time. Several friends of mine said, hey, you're always going to bars, you're always going to restaurants, so you know one half of F&B, right? How about sitting on the other side of the bar or the kitchen and learning about F&B? And so I talked to a few bartenders and they said, yeah, you'd be well suited. So I thought about it a bit, and then I got a reminder from SCTP about the transitional programs they have and how they support that for people coming to my age. And then I looked around and I found Bettr, and I thought, well, Bettr is this coffee company. Well, hang on, they have this mixology path as well. So that really intrigued me. So then I went to meet Lydia one day, and I saw the training academy, and like the rest is history. When I went there, there was actually classes going on. So I could see people doing their young barista course. I could see people doing their mixology course or their tea course. When I saw how much of the learning is going to be lab work and hands-on, that really excited me, because the way I learn best, and I think the way most people learn best, is you learn a little, do a little, and then you progress it a lot. So I think the combination of the lab work, the interest, and also the ability then to apply it convinced me that Bettr is the right place to be. For me, it's a massive change coming from a very corporate environment to an environment where I had to learn all the local nomenclature for teas and coffees. Whoever thought I would know kopi gao sudai, right? Now to me, the second thing was remembering all the recipes, all the ratios and proportions, which again is very important with mixology. And another big change was, when you're standing on your feet all day, whether it's behind the machine or doing service or mixing drinks, it's demanding, physically demanding on your body. So there was a lot of changes going on, which I think the academy prepares you for a little. And I think the anecdotes from the trainers also helps. That just knowing the theory isn't enough, you have to be able to practice it and also be prepared for hard work as well. So on a day-to-day basis, I have kind of two ways of working, because sometimes I'm doing the opening in the morning. We open at 9, and if we're opening, we arrive around 8:15. And sometimes I do the calibration of the coffee machine, which is fun. Because it's a skill I learned how to do. I never knew how to do that, and I didn't know how complex it was. And then sometimes I'm setting up for service, which laying out the tables. There could be an event, so we need to prepare for that as well. And then during the day, I could be doing the bar back, could be doing the service as well. So each day, each shift is a little bit different. And then some nights I'm doing the closing. So we're open until 10. And then in the evenings, of course, we have to tear everything down, the coffee machine, the bar, we have to clean, etc., and then get everything ready for the morning. Most of the people working here are half my age, if that. So whereas I've come from a very measured, emotionally controlled environment in corporate, many of them are not so measured or perhaps in control of their emotions. They might tend to get perturbed a bit by a demanding customer or an irate customer, or when something doesn't go right. I would tend to be a bit more, well, no one's dying, so we can always fix that kind of thing. So I think I've imparted some of that on my teammates, but I also have to learn, what are the things that are important working in this environment and what's important to my teammates. Because, these are the next generation of our mixologists and baristas and customers. So I also learn from them a lot as well. So I think the balance is good. But just in my first couple of weeks, it was the youngest set of people I've ever worked with, probably since I ever started working back in the 90s. It's just been, this is a career change for me. I've come from sitting down and managing through computer screens and conference calls and delegation to running the floor at the cafe. Hosting people, hosting at events, managing workstations at events, having the confidence to talk to customers that come in, hear what they prefer as part of their drinks, and perhaps get a sense for how they're feeling. Maybe they need a quiet moment, maybe they need a pick-me-up, and then having that confidence to advise them, well, here's what I recommend from our awesome menu, whether it's a coffee or a cocktail or one of our Foundry specials. And then when they come back and they say, you know what, thanks for the recommendation, that was just what I needed, that's just like a million thanks all in one. And who would have thought I would have been able to do that a year ago? Definitely more fulfilled, definitely more inspired that whatever I now decide to do that could be different from F&B, I can do it. Because I transitioned from something that's so different and so, at the opposite end of the spectrum to this. So that gives me a lot of confidence, a lot of inspiration that, even at my age, I can transition into things that, you generally see younger people doing. So that ability to change a person's life in a day, in 10 seconds, I think that's the biggest rush I get. Yes. At the moment, I'm part-time. I have been thinking, should I be doing it full-time? I think some of my colleagues would like that. But I'm also thinking, is there other areas of F&B that I could be doing more of? For example, I really like the events side. So I've done a few of the events with Bettr, where we've done at MBS, Suntec and so on, and I really like those. So it's not a case of should I be working more at the cafe. I'm also thinking, can I get more of the events side of things, because I like that. And then if you combine my corporate skills in procurement and logistics, perhaps I can help on that side as well. So I think F&B, if you just think it's people taking your order and service, no, there's a lot more to it than that. I would recommend it both to people looking for that transition in their 50s and 60s, but also people in their 20s. If you've been in the retail store, in the local shopping center, but you think your engagement skills and your customer service skills are good, but you actually want to get some professional qualifications, then come here and become a professional barista. Get a SCA certification or get a level 3 certification in mixology. These are professional skills that build upon your interpersonal skills, your communication skills, which can then open up a plethora of options for you in your career.